Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is Cold Steel 3 and of course we are in Heimdall at the airport. We've done all our rounds, the only thing left to do is to talk to these two and do whatever they want us to, and hopefully it's just to give us some extra information, and after that we're gonna go to the Sankt District where we're supposed to be for the story. I see. Aeon and Ion. What is Robert saying? Well, he believes it's due to Ouroboros' 13 factories. Maybe they have infrastructure for stealing information from the Foundation, RF, Vern and CF. Professor Smith? Theo? Ah, it's you. Oh, hello. Looked like your undercover plan worked out without a hitch. How did you... Oh, were you able to stop the communication distortions you were talking about this morning? Yes, thanks to Professor Smith's assistance earlier. Randy told me about the situation. I'll be in Heimdall for a while, so let me know if I can help you. I see, thank you. Awesome, we have got Theo on board too, this is huge. Hold on, though, back up a little. You actually helped them out, Professor? Oh, we haven't seen you in a while. What are you doing here? The government can't tell me where I can and can't go. I heard the Aeon girl from the Foundation was here, so I figured I should meet with her for myself. I decided to stop the communication distortion in order to pass the time. I figured that was the case. He hasn't changed a bit. Why do they give him so much special favor? Oh, that's the genius treatment for you. Plus, he knows they're refusing to help at all once he gets angry. I suppose it's the government's best interest to keep him happy then. Well, I suppose we should be thankful he's cooperating at all. Heimdall doesn't have an orbital network, but they can still see plenty of things from the various agencies' communications. I will let you know if there are any developments, including any that to do with Altina, so please be careful. Thank you. You be careful too, Chief Theo. I find it rather intriguing. Altina reminds me of the old me. But where she was born without emotions, I ended up losing them. Oh. Are you talking about the circumstances surrounding Altina's birth? Well, she must have grown up in a situation that was not conducive to developing emotions, whereas mine were stunted by experimentations. Oh, Chief Theo. My emotions are a bit on the light side too. Maybe because I was picked up on a battlefield. I'd say you're rather full of emotion actually. Yeah, besides you're always teasing people. Either way, people can change one way or another. Yeah, for better or worse. In that case, Milliam is sort of the same boat. In my case, meeting so many people is what allowed me to develop emotions. Rean, please watch over Altina and Milliam. Even though you can't get a hold of them right now, I will. You've got this. Of course, we'll always be looking out for them. Professor Smith wasn't quite how I imagined him to be. As researchers go, it was kind of normal. Normal for a researcher? Yeah, normal for a human. Professor Smith, could I get you to look at this?
Oh, you have something interesting.
That shimmer. I could never mistake it. Zemirian ore. That's quite rare to find that one that shines black like this. Hand it over, I'll take a look. Yes, please. Smith took out his magnifying glass to inspect the mysterious ore. See anything interesting? I'd have to run some analysis on it, but I have heard that there are variant forms of Sumerian ore out there in the world. I postulate that this one's more durable than normal Sumerian ore, which means I'll have to devise a new method of cutting it. A new method? Is that even possible? I never said it wasn't. In fact, I already have a few ideas in mind. I can make a weapon out of it right now if you need it. Really? Right this second. Well, it seems I've underestimated you. Yes, you never cease to amaze, Professor. We should strike while the iron's hot. But first, for whom shall I be making this weapon? Well... And this is what I mean. I would love to make it for Rean, because he is, at the most, a very heavy hitter with the CP build. On the other hand, he is a heavy hitter because of the CP build. So, other people that I would give this to would be Yuna, because she's often in our party. Same with Altina, but we cannot make Altina because she's not here in our party. You know what? Let's make a weapon for Yuna. If we get a second piece that we can develop into a weapon, then we can decide whether or not to make it for Rean or for Altina if she's back. I'd like for you to make a gunbreaker for Yuna. Are you sure? Thank you. I'll get to work right away. There's an acquaintance of mine at the workshop at Vanker Street. We'll head there. Ooh. They then headed to the Lumiere workshop on Vanker Street with Professor Smith. As soon as they arrived, the professor started working on making a weapon. Sorry for dropping by out of the blue. Oh, think nothing of it, really. Any engineer would consider it an honor to help Professor Smith. If you say so. Oh, how do you know Professor Smith? Well, the professor actually advised my father when he was a student. So I had the connection to get accepted to the Institute of Technology. I remember helping with things that had nothing to do with my training, but they're all good memories. The professor really abuses the people around him. Yeah, and there's certainly no exception. Ah, it's done. Already? Well, as quick a job as always. Now, take this. A toll. Wow, this is one incredible weapon. I have to say, Professor, your craftsmanship is incredible. I'm not an engineer, but I can still appreciate all you put into your work. Quit being a sap. Loath as I am to admit it, much of this work was only possible thanks to the groundwork Albert laid out. I would have taken much longer without him. Ah, as in Professor Albert Russell? He's done a lot. I wondered before he was behind the recent method of purifying Sumerian ore. Do you know if that was also him? Indeed it was. I believe he discovered it during all those strange happenings in Liberal. A discovery of circumstance and not a true genius, as it were. You don't see him acting this competitive every day. Professor Russell must be a remarkable man. About this black Sumerian ore. By my observation, it's a byproduct of Sumerian ore after having changed by the way of some outside factor. That's for sure. Only speculation. But even if the ore itself isn't fully understood, the method of purifying it is. All relevant data has been sent to the Institute of Technology and published. Any old workshop should know the method by now if you want to make a weapon. Good to know. He sure was quick on that front. That will do. I'll be returning to my work now. A load of Smith. You can now process black Sumerian ore in orbital factories. Meaning we should get at least a bunch more. Yatsuba. Critical ratings. Ooh, she still isn't here. Oh, don't tell me she's not coming back. Just want to see if there is... Do we have an exchange shop nearby somewhere? I want to see if we could actually use the pieces to create that right now. Would be best to go to the field exercise camp. Would be easiest because we have everyone there. That will be here. And the back door is shut. Alright, then we go take the front one.
Have a look-see. See ya.
So only to
Have a look-see. You will.
strengthen is not to trade. Oh, since yeah, I heard we can use the communication devices now. Oh, that's right. I did everything I could to make it work on our end, but Professor and Chief Tier really are something else. Either way, we should be able to back you up now. Wow, that's a relief. A kid should be able to relax now too. That's for sure. Are you able to use your orbital gear whenever? Yes, I've been maintaining it in secret. Oh, that's perfect. Also, thanks for the data you gave us last time. We really owe you a lot, Tina. No, I should be thanking you. Data? Maybe the usage data for the boost carrier? I'm just glad that we're able to communicate with the field exercise camp. I'm counting on you if something happens. Of course, leave it to me. An extra text I didn't expect. Very glad about that. Oh wait, they're of course in town, our trade store.
I'll help.
But it's just the same thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, I'm just glad that we got to meet them.
Wanna buy something?
There it is. Ooh, wait, we can 3 shards to make a piece and 50 U materials to get a shard. Okay, so getting 1 shard won't give me a black Sumerian ore, but if we get towards the ending of the game and we're missing 1 shard, I'm gonna use my DLC 50 to get that last shard. Otherwise, I'm gonna use it for something else. But we can definitely get this now. Very good, very appreciated.
Come on, buy some more.
No, that Sumerian ore was just what I needed. Alright. So we didn't make this. Might as well. Alright, let's equip it. Bunch of criticals, and the reason I picked Duna is because she is an attack that can hit a big terrain, which we use for normal group encounters. So having her some extra strength and some extra critical hit potential would be really helpful in battles. Main reason why I picked it for her. The rest is optional to me. Alright, having said that, I think we're ready to move on to the Sank District. And of course, we're going everywhere
Cathedral.
except the cathedral.
Feels oddly quiet around here.
Let's go inside after we've finished any other business we have.
We will. The door is locked. It looked like the embassy is completely closed. Well, they basically declared war with them after all. We have to accept that the diplomatic relations have been severed completely. I wonder if the other officials still here will be deported as well. Oh, and that clerk. Oh, they really done it. That means the government is serious. And that means we have to be ready for anything. There's nothing left for us here. We need to go forth and find our way. Right. The gate to the Calvarian embassy is shut firmly. I was almost hoping to get a scene with the guy that's been working there. We've talked to him a couple of times. Oh, everything will be okay. I can feel it. After all, I'm always super lucky. Well, you have been on a lucky streak recently, but still. We came along with the President Elise as our escorts. I hope everything goes well. We begged to come along because we were so worried. I hope Princess Elvin is doing alright. I hope so too, really I do. I guess this is how the summer festival is gonna end. The person I met at the race course was in a real hurry. I'm really grateful for him for getting me this room, but... oh, what should I do now? I guess that means the summer festival's over. It's a great dress, though. Dear valued guest, we request that you refrain from going out as much as possible. We are in the middle of a difficult situation, but this is a matter of national import. We'll have to work together to make it through. Good speech for a hotel. Oh, there are some students from the girls' school here. Sinister is a boarding school, so the girls must feel uneasy. I wonder if there's anything we can do to help them. Give them some tea, maybe some blankets. Keep them safe, keep them warm. Best thing you can do. Oh, something seems strange out front. This morning people were going out to pray at the cathedral, but no one's outside anymore. I don't know what happened. Maybe people dispersed them? I get inspiration for new songs at the worst possible times. Oh, unscrupulous. But I'd better write it down while I can. This grim song is so full of despair. I never thought I'd write a song like this, but this grim, despairful song, it begs to be written. Hey, desperation in song usually makes great hits. Alright, I think Elise should be here. Yes, she is. Alright. Okay, Elise. Oh, sorry for asking you to do this. Well, I'd do anything for Rean's sister. Depending on what Alyssa does, we may be family soon. I really hope so. Sheesh. Oh, grandfather! Well, we did have a massive makeout session a few episodes ago. Rean! Oh, you're here. Ah, welcome. It's quite a spectacle. Rean, Yusei, everyone. Oh, thank goodness you're all okay. I just heard about your situation from these two. I see. Oh, you must come here because you were worried about instructor Rean. I won't deny it, but I was also hoping to get a hold of the princess. Ah. That's certainly worth the worry, especially considering what happened yesterday. Her father was. And right before our eyes too. Not to mention that speech her younger brother gave today. Hey Fee. Oh, I talked to the two of them outside earlier. I had the opportunity to meet Elise during the inspections in Crossbell. I had my people connect with the communication department at the Imperial Palace. They're not very security conscious, so it should work out. Well, I suppose we did just finish with the communication system in Valflame Palace. It will be hard to do so directly, but there should be a good way to get a hold of her. I'm about to contact them now. If things go well, you can talk to her. With Irina's negotiation and Gwyn on the controls, a call was successfully made to Valflame Palace, and a meeting with Princess Alvin was set up. Oh, I was surprised to hear that Gwyn and the chairman Irina were contacting me, but I never thought it would be Elise along with Rean and the others. Princess. Oh, I'm glad to get to see your face. His Majesty, how is he? Well, there haven't been any updates. He's still in critical condition. But this morning, the medical college brought in a famous doctor. Is that... The doctor who treated Sharon. The medical equipment is currently being delivered. Ah, they just came this morning on a Rhineford high-speed plane. Well, he should be fine. I heard that the doctor is really talented. Everything will be okay, Princess. And considering Ash is one of my classmates, that isn't an easy thing for me to say. Ah, that's true. Oh, I understand that something was off with Ash. My mother has calmly come to her own conclusions, so please don't worry about that. More importantly, I heard that Altina and Milliam are missing. And Cedric's speech. Princess? Oh, I've decided to leave here and return to the girls' school. But why, Princess? I was worried about my mother, but she told me to take care of whatever I need to take care of. And now that Cedric has given his speech, I want to see how things are outside the palace. That's very commendable of you, Princess. It's probably the best for you to see the situation for yourself. Indeed, but please have someone escort you. Your safety is imperative. Oh, please don't worry. I'll have my finest guards accompanying me. At least, let's meet at the hotel. I should be there in an hour. Very well. I shall be waiting. Please be careful. And thank you for understanding what Ash is going through. To show our thanks, let us take care of things. Ash's behavior, the Chancellor, the Prince Cedric's speeches, and the imminent war with Calvert. We'll find out who's pulling the strings behind Erebonian and get our peaceful world back. Instructor. The same goes for you, for me, Princess. The Inspectorate won't tolerate this either. And we will also find whatever it was that dragged your brother into this. You can count on us. Of course. Oh, thank you, everyone. After that, the call was cut off so that Princess Elvin could make her own call. Everyone said their goodbyes to Elise and the others before heading out. Very impactful and very important. I can't even imagine missing something like this. Yeah, I'm glad to see that Elvin's doing okay, and that her mother also woke up, and that they don't blame Ash. Well, at least understand that something was off, and that's really important. Mother, what's up with Sharon? Well, she hasn't been back since she left this morning. What of it? Alyssa, I know that being an outsider is not my place to say this, but no, you're not an outsider. She did, after all, tell you about her past. Well, when she helped me in Crossbell, she told me to tell you if anything happened to her. That's... So what they were talking about... They did look really serious. You must know why he knows about her past, but you don't. Do you not? I understand. I'm still unreliable. To Sharon, I'm nothing but a burden. But I've kept the 4th Development Division running this past year. I've launched projects that even you don't know about, Mother. You must know that they exist, but you don't know any of the details, do you? That's... Well, of course, after all, you've made the RF rule that every division be independent. So I, not as Serena Reinford's daughter, but as the chief of the 4th Development Division, Alyssa Reinford, feel that I have been doing my job. Our positions might be different, but as equal employees. I'm not going to rely on you for this. I will discover the truth on my own. Not to mention, she isn't too far. Honestly, you do realize that's some big talk for someone who has only a year of experience, right? Yes, but grandfather told me you were like this when you were younger too. You met father while you worked at Stalled. What a loudmouth. He definitely is, but he means well. Alyssa, are you sure about this? I can't tell you what Sharon told me. Thanks, but now's not the time. I'll find Sharon and ask her myself. Alyssa, that's the spirit. Don't be given things. Take them for yourself. Wow, she's so cool. Do as you please. You will see that this current situation is far more dire than you know. But see for yourself with your very own eyes. And don't you dare look away. Of course. Understood. That goes for all of us, including Alyssa. You don't have much time, so spend it well. Use it to determine the truth for yourself. I'm sure the princess feels a lot better after speaking with everyone. Prince Oliver has been out since this morning and... Oh yeah, he made some comments on the radio. Well, it seemed like he was really trying hard to calm everyone down. I heard the Viscount and Tovel boarded the Courageous. I see. Well, I'm sure that would put the princess more at ease. Please be careful and don't let the guards find you. Yeah, I'll be careful. You too, Elise. Take care of yourself and the princess as well. Right now, everyone just needs to work hard at whatever they can do. Please, Rean, be careful. I'll be praying for you. Ah, where's Smith? He hasn't come back since he left for the airport. Sheesh, I was hoping I could talk to him about Prince Oliver's consultation. Is something going on? Oh, I heard you received some documents 2 days ago. Yes, we've come up with a new idea. Oh well, he'll probably come back once he gets hungry. Just like a cat that's just roaming around doing their own thing. When he's hungry, he'll come back. I was almost hoping that he would make a remark about Alyssa and Rean. Oh, I'm concerned about the Emperor's condition. We'll have to put our faith in Professor Silent from the medical college. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be her. Because she is weird, but the best at what she does. Alright. A lot of scenes, a lot of information, a lot of goodness. Well, time to head out and check out the rest of the outside. We have seen some people walking about, but I'm guessing that the school itself will be closed. I went to pray with Mama, but I took too much time and I was late. But that's okay, right? I just might hear it better this way. Oh, I heard the Emperor still is in critical condition. We prayed for his recovery. I hope Ijaz hears us. I hope so too. Oh, how could our beloved summer festival have turned into something like this? Oh dear. How could something like this happen? You should hurry home, otherwise the military police might question you. That is a real option, definitely. I feel uneasy in the house, but I don't find being outside particularly fun either. Maybe I should stay home today. You got a beautiful name though, Lufia. One of the greater games I've played in the past. Definitely. And one that I would love someday to do for the channel. If I can find Lufia 2 in an English version, because the version I have is in Dutch and I don't think that will fly on the channel. Oh, the Imperial Defense Force. Oh, just like Elise said. If Elise and the princess are returning, then they need to prioritize security. That is true, let's leave it to them. Good, that thinks that we are done. We can now make our way into the cathedral and see what happens there. I'm more curious to see who's there than what's gonna happen. Heimdall Cathedral. Emma and Gaia said people wish to speak with us. It'll probably take a while, so we should take care of any unfinished business. The story will progress upon entering the cathedral. All additional challenge elements will end. We've been everywhere, we did all the fights we could find. We're ready. Oh, no one's here? How can this cathedral be completely empty?
So, you've arrived at last.
Ah, Rosine. Ah. You're... from the Leaves Chapel. Sister Rosine? I have heard rumors, but... Wait, so what guys and Emma were talking about? I was somewhat expecting you to show up here. But your main objective is different, right?
Yes, it's good to see you all again. Please, come in. They're waiting for you just over there.
Yes, and the medal around her neck, the same that Gaius used at the entrance of Heimdall. I knew it.
Ah, I'm glad you all finally made it. The Church has decided this issue now merits the attention of the Congregation for the Sacraments. As such, the Archbishop and all the staff here have been moved to another location.
You're... Ah, I get it now. Ooh, in his official clothing? Huh? You're that former instructor from Thors main campus. Thomas?
Thank you for all your diligence, Rosine.
Yeah, nice detail. He's having that medal on his waist as well.
I'd feel much better if you were to stand watch over the front door now, just in case.
Yes, understood. Leave it to me.
What was that all about? Yes, this was pretty shocking to us too.
Let me introduce you. This man is a member of the Grossritter, a division of the Septian Church. He's the second in command, in fact. Thomas Lysander. He holds the seat of Second Dominion, and is sometimes known by his title, the Partitioner.
Grossritter? They're an armed knight organization that is run by the church. I'd say that female terrorist S was once among their ranks. Wait a minute. Gaius, does this mean... Are you?
Now allow me to introduce you. This man is one of the Grossritter's 12 Dominion, the successor to the 8th Dominion, Gaius Warzel.
Ah, so he joined them. I can't imagine he was already part of them during his school time at Thors, right? But it could be the reason why he was gone for months. But why? Is this why we couldn't get a hold of you for the past 6 months?
Yeah, a lot happened all at once. After graduating from Thors, I returned to Nord and began observing the struggle between Erebonian and Calvert. However, I began to feel something dark and sinister carried on the winds of the plateaus. I consulted my father and the chief, and eventually my old teacher, Father Barkhorn, came to visit. You might remember the name. He was the traveling priest we chased after during the Civil War.
Yeah, he looks really cool.
But it turns out, he was also the 8th Dominion of the Grossritter, with the title the Roaring Lion. He was an extremely skilled knight, who investigated the Salt Pale in Northumbria and trained Brigadier General Bardius. Apparently, he was worried, and came to Nord to check up on me. He explained to me that what I had been sensing was called the Gale of Ruin. I'm not sure why I'm able to sense it. Maybe it's because I'm a descendant of those who fought alongside the Lionheart Emperor. I mentioned this to him and he came to a realization, but then it happened. A Calvardian ship that broke past the 7th Armored Division attacked my village.
The village got attacked? Oh, I hope they're all okay.
My father was away at the time. I fought back in an attempt to protect my family, but it was no use. Right as I prepared myself for death, my teacher threw his huge body in the way to protect me. And as he lay there dying, he passed his stigma onto me. Across the nearly 1,000-year history of the Grossritter, its highest-ranking members have each borne one of 12 sacred markings. This was one of those markings.
The Roaring Lion? I've heard that name many times. He saved many people who were affected by the disaster in Northumbria. Yes, among the current Dominion members, he was the most veteran. And after the stigma was passed to Gaius, I took him to the holy city of Ateria, where he received knight training. Hence, his half year of silence. I see. Well, if that's what happened, you should have told us. Yes, we could have helped you. It's okay. Everything happened so quickly. I did everything I had to do, and finished my knight training. Last month, Eustace was finally able to reach me. The power that I've received from my master, with it, I will save the Empire, my second home as a member of Class 7. Ah, Gaius. Sheesh. You've always been so grand and reliable. Thank you, Gaius. Please, lend us your strength. Yes, I will give you my all. Seeing someone like him puts us under even more pressure. Yeah, the gap isn't just in age or experience. This group certainly has become awfully formidable. Not really. Oh, we're still training just as much as you guys. Well, I have ways to go before I reach the heights of my predecessors. And, speaking of which...
Grandmother! Stop hiding! Come out already!
Okay, so even she is here.
You're the one who called us here in the first place, aren't you?
I only hid myself so as not to interrupt your discussion.
Ah, you're Emma's grandmother. The elder of the witches. Rosilia, was it?
Indeed. But you may simply call me Rose.
The Crimson Rose. We will.
I had you all gather here for one reason. To explain to you the background between the Hexen clan and the church.
Ah, I see. So that's how it is. But aren't the witches opposed to the church?
It's not as though we don't believe in Adios. There have been some differences in opinion over the years, but we and the church have worked together on a number of occasions.
For the great of the country and the world.
For example, during the War of the Lions, or the vampire incident in the Middle Ages. Not to mention the fight against the Dark Dragon 800 years ago.
But all that was just Rose sticking her nose into other people's business.
Wait, so you were involved in all that?
Legend has it, Emperor Dreikel's camp was once visited by a good witch. And the novel Red Moon Rose features a vampire hunter affiliated with the church who was, in truth, the true ancestor of the vampires. The woman you now see before you was both of these people, even if she looks a bit different.
How old are you exactly?
800 or so. However, you should know that my situation is somewhat unique. All other witches are normal humans. Except, of course, for the fact that they are all descendants of those who once guarded the Septarian of Fire.
Septarian of Fire? It's the same as the Aureole of Liberal and the Great Tree of Crossbell. The Septarians, the seventh gift bestowed on humanity by Aidios. It is said that they were all lost during the Great Collapse 1200 years ago. Well, they're the things Ouroboros has been trying to get their hands on all this time. Yeah, now for the main topic. Now, where to begin? Grandmother, we don't know anything beyond this. Don't leave out any details, make sure you explain it fully. I second that request, I don't know the details either. Let's see. Rosilia, perhaps we should take turns talking. Very well, that will suffice. I'm sure you've noticed by now, but there's a front and a back to this empire. The spirit veins have directly affected the turbulence of the government and war, and that causes cryptids and powerful monsters from other planes to stir. Well, that explains it then. As the Empire's territory spreads, so will they. The Pleroma Grass and Magic Knights, where did they come from in the first place? Well, to begin, Pleroma Grass is a mana grass from the higher planes. It once served as the eyes and ears of the Septarian of Mirage. Normally it's blue, but after the incident in Crossbell, it all vanished. That is until after Crossbell became part of the Empire, at which point it began reappearing in this new scarlet shade. Oh, the implications are rather chilling. It changed color to match the infernal castle, perhaps. Well, there is undoubtedly a connection. As for the Magic Knights, you may have heard about, but they are golems from the Dark Ages. They were created by mages of the Empire to fight against the Divine Knights. During the Civil War, something caused them to stir once more. They now appear in Crossbell via the spirit paths. No way. That would also explain the increased incidents with cryptids recently. What about the society? The Phantasmal Blaze plan. They sought to use Crossbell's false phantasm to awaken the blaze in Erebonia. At least, that's what I heard. Seriously? Oh, so that's their plan. Where did you hear that? Well, last night I heard it from the Chancellor himself. He told me some other intriguing things too, but I feel like he intentionally left out some of the more important details. I see. Well, I heard you talk to him, but... it seems Ouroboros worked in Crossbell 2 years ago was to bring about some kind of change in Erebonia. Just so you know, Crossbell's Mirage Septarian was an artificially created fake. It was stronger than the original, but the Society had no interest in it. Were I to hazard a guess, their goal is to acquire the two treasures that originally existed here. The Septarian of Fire and Earth that once called the land of Erebos home. The Septarians of Fire and Earth. So Liberal had the Septarian of Space and Crossbell Septarian of Mirage. But Erebonia had two Septarians. Hold on a second. Emma, if witches are the descendants of the people who guarded the Septarian of Fire, yes, then the Black Workshop and the gnomes are the same people. Ah, the descendants of those who guarded the Septarian of Earth. Well, there are counterparts. Much like the royal Ostless family of Liberal and the Qua family in Crossbell. In addition, you may be aware that each Septarian has its own holy beast assigned to watch over it. Liberal had an ancient dragon, Crossbell had a divine wolf, and as it had two Septarians, Erebonia had two holy beasts as well. However, after the Great Collapse, each of them vanished alongside the Septarian they were to oversee. That's the core of the issue. Oh, the two Septarians, the two groups of people who worship them, and the two holy beasts. The Septarians and the holy beast disappeared and the people changed their names. What happened in Erebonia 1200 years ago? Allow me to reveal to you the truth behind the land of Erebos. Now, this story still relies on a modicum of speculation. Please keep that in mind.
In the beginning, this land housed two of the Septarian. The Arc Rouge, Septarian of Fire and wielder of fierce power. The Lost Zem, Septarian of Earth and bearer of unyielding endurance. Each assumed the form of a colossal guardian and went about granting boons and performing miracles for its people. For a few centuries, the land of Erebonia prospered, but eventually, its people began to vie for power and control. The Septarians had always granted their people's wishes, but now, their peoples each wished for the other's destruction. And so, the two colossi began fighting. Their battle ravaged the earth and split the sky, devastating the entire region. The humans tried to stop them, but it was in vain. The Septarians' fight continued 1,000 days, scorching the land black. When the battle ended at long last, it was a tie. Exhausting their power in one final strike, the two Septarian were blown away, left as nothing but empty shells. Yet the tale did not end there.
The power expelled by each Septarian collided and became one, resulting in the creation of an entirely new entity. The Great One, the Septarian of Steel. It was an existence created from the union of fire and earth. It was beyond anything else in this realm. It was the ultimate source of power. Though things seemed fine at first, the survivors of the war soon realized the eternal conflict within it. They knew this conflict would cause it to grow ever more unstable, and that it was not something that could be handled by mankind.
With the Holy Beast's assistance, the Kins of Fire and Earth joined together to see the Great One sealed away. However, each of their attempts ended in failure. Left with no other options, they resorted to their final plan. The Great One would remain whole in the higher plane, yet its physical incarnation in this world split into numerous shards. It was this final gambit that saw disaster averted.
Indeed. Their combined efforts bore fruit. The Kin of Earth created 7 vessels, while the Kin of Fire split the Great One's power and infused each vessel with a part of it.
Let me guess. The Divine Knights.
7 dolls in the form of knights, each bearing the Great One's power. The Divine Knights.
Wow. Oh, that's beyond fathomable. Oh, I was told about this in bits and pieces, but... So all that happened 1200 years ago. Oh, that wasn't a fairy tale, right? At the very least, something similar happened. So, what happened after that? And why did Velimar and the other Divine Knights start fighting? This is as far as the story that was passed down goes. So the King of Fire became the Hexen clan, and the King of Earth became the Gnomes. They split the unstable ultimate power into 7, then both sides decided to watch over their reconstruction after the Great Collapse. Oh, and by the way, many people from each kinship have since abandoned their roles. They joined together, started accepting people from the surrounding area, and created the foundation of what became Erebonian. This is around the same time the Septimian Church was spreading across Erebonian. 300 years passed, and the Arnor family established the city of Heimdall. And that's when the disaster of the Dark Dragon occurred.
900 years ago, Heimdall was a small city of only about 50,000 people. However, it was one of the burgeoning centers of culture for the region. The Septimian Church had finished construction on the Heimdall Cathedral, and there were plans to develop the city even further. But it was then the Dark Dragon appeared, blanketing Heimdall in miasma and transforming it into a city of the dead. Emperor Astorius chose to lead his people south and made St. Arc the new capital of Erebonia.
In helping Emperor Astorius deal with this crisis, the Hexen clan and gnomes each suffered substantial losses. The Hexen clan lost its elder, and the gnomes their holy beast. And so ended their alliance. The final time they spoke would be a century later. It was when Emperor Hector awakened the Vermilion Knight to reclaim Heimdall from the Dark Dragon. He did so at the urging of the chief of the gnomes and the new elder of the Hexen clan, myself. However, the Emperor fell to the Dark Dragon's miasma, and the Vermilion Knight to its curse. The Emperor's son had the chief of the gnomes and myself seal the cursed knight deep below the Imperial Palace. That would be the last act our 2 clans performed together. I do not know why, but the gnomes cut off contact with our clan and hid themselves away. In the 800 years that followed, whenever war struck Erebonia, a divine knight would enter the stage, demonstrate its might, then vanish. I was certain the gnomes were involved, yet all we could do was guide awakeners on the proper course. This unending pattern reached its most fevered peak 250 years ago during the War of the Lions. The false Emperor Orthros unearthed the cursed Vermilion Knight, and a mercenary under Prince Lucius' employ awakened the Palatinate Knight. Prince Dreichels found the Ashen Knight, and Leanne the Argent Knight. The 4 awakened at once, made for a grand war indeed.
So that's how things connect. Oh, there are so many parts to this story I want to question, but... So, Emma's grandma was around during the War of the Lions. A good witch. I've read about them in fairy tales. As the prince's guide, I accompanied it to the Drykel's camp. Oh, I remember those days. I used to be quite the beauty. All I mean is to say is that the art of deception of me is not inaccurate. It is stated earlier, the elder of the witches isn't a normal human. So, you've been watching over the clan after becoming an immortal being? Yes, however, I only came into existence 800 years ago. My predecessor perished soon afterwards, and I do not have many memories from before that point. So naturally, there are things that I still do not know. But there are things that you do know about. Such as how you said the maiden Rean was the awakener of the Argent Knight, and whether or not she is Ouroboros' Steel Maiden. That's true. You could confirm so many things. It is her, of that much I am certain. She was the daughter of a count who met the Wandering Prince and later challenged the Apocalypse, only to lose her life. However, before that happened, it was I who guided Rean to become the Argent Awakener. But Rean knew her powers were too great, so she kept them hidden away. It was only during her battle with the Apocalypse that she unleashed her full might, and in the end, however, she was fatally injured and passed away after the war. Then, half a year later, I witnessed her revival, along with your ancestor, Arcide, second in command of the Eisenritter. So that's why. Were you the one who revived them, grandmother? Yes, that is what I'd like to know too. Well, after Rean passed, I thought it strange how her body did not rot. So I took her body back to the village, and half a year later she simply woke up. I assumed she had become an immortal, though I could not say when or how. Rean realized what was happening to her, so she left Erebonian to walk the earth without even telling her love Drykel. She left Legram to Arcide, her right-hand man. I occasionally met with her whenever she came around, but the last time was about 20 years ago. That's when she met Ouroboros' Grand Master, who brought her into the fold. Thank you for sharing this. There are some things that can't be overlooked. Yeah, we've seen too many incredible things over the last few months. So the boss and Crow were both. As I said earlier, we have no idea what specifically happened. I think the key is the Divine Knight. The Jaeger King was not an Awakener when he was alive. On the other hand, Drykel's was an Awakener, but he did not become immortal. He has remained dead. That's right. Instructor Rean, he isn't immortal, is he? Right, he's still been growing since graduation. Yeah, I may have some weird powers, but I've definitely aged. Is there a common reason? Well, I believe there are only two people who know the truth. The current Chancellor Gilead Osborne and the Chief of the Gnomes, Black Elberic. So that's the leader of the Black Workshop. Yes, though I do not believe he's an immortal like me. The leadership of the Gnomes is somehow passed down from one to the next, in order for them to achieve their goal of bringing about the Great Twilight. The Great Twilight? This is the first I've heard of it, but is that the fairy tale of the end that Vida was talking about? Yes, 800 years ago we were going our separate ways. That is when the Chief of the Gnomes told the Prince and me. It's as if he was foretelling a future where everything ends. Wait, that's true. It is much similar to the direction the Empire is heading. Let me add to this. The reason Barkhorn and I were in Erebonian was because we discovered an anomaly. The spirit veins were being distorted all over the continent, and the source seemed to emanate from the Empire. It was like a ripple effect. The incidents in Liberal and Crossbell, as well as the civil war in Erebonian, only served to further increase the distortions. They continued to get larger after Crossbell and Northumbria were folded into the Empire. And larger again when the Cryptids and Magic Knights of Erebonian appeared in Crossbell. On the other hand, the permafrost which is native to Crossbell started blooming in the Empire. If the Great Twilight really is about to happen, then all of this seems to be an omen of things to come. Who is this Alberic person? He used the Masked Man as his agent, and hired the Jaeger King, who was supposed to be dead. Are there other gnomes out there? Well, your dear rabbit friend may technically count, but beside the Masked Man, their leader seems to have at least one other acting agent. I cannot say who this person may be, but it would seem they are talented craftsmen at any rate. Oh, and before you jump to conclusion, I'm not speaking of the little brat Smith. It would seem the person I speak of possesses a different kind of genius than he does. A talented craftsman. That is putting some very unpleasant ideas in my head. In any event, Alberic and the Chancellor are probably connected, and it's unlikely to be through the intelligence divisions or his children. With the incident of last night, things may have already been put into motion. Oh, why do you say that? Last night, we finally decoded the Black Record that you found the other day. Oh, the Black Records are a collection of a particular type of artifact sometimes found in Erebonian. I was actually exchanging information about them with Rean. Really? When did that happen? Well, right before all of you graduated, he revealed his true identity to me. He told me not to tell anyone. I hope you don't hold it against me. Instructor, I mean, Father Thomas. Jeez, you probably took advantage of Rean's sense of responsibility, didn't you? Well, I can't deny it. In any event, this is what the updated record said.
When the sacrifice is made and the ancient blood flows, the path to the Grawl of Erebos shall open. When the tainted holy beast is pierced by the blade of World's End, and its blood fills the Grawl, the great twilight shall fall upon the land.
What? The timing is too perfect. It's as if prophecies were written about our current situation. If the ancient blood is referring to the Emperor, then the sacrifice is referring to Ash? What about the Grawl and the blade? The Grawl is probably related to the Septian Church and the tainted holy beast. Father Thomas, could that be? Yes, as was stated earlier, Gaius. There is a sacred place beneath this cathedral, the Primal Ground, a facility that was designed to play a major role after the Great Collapse. 900 years ago, when Heimdall was shrouded in darkness, it retreated beneath here and disappeared. Disappeared? I heard about such a facility in Liberal. Yes, there is one beneath the Gransel Cathedral in Liberal too. However, when Heimdall was retaken, the space beneath the cathedral was buried by rock. But what it didn't disappear, and simply transferred somewhere else instead. Ah, so it still exists. Well, the holy beast mentioned in the prophecy is likely the holy beast of Earth. As I said before, it disappeared after the disaster 900 years ago. It's only speculation, but I believe the dark dragon you faced the other day was merely a servant of the true holy beast. Wait a minute. Are you saying that the dark dragon wasn't the cause of everything? Well, though it was indeed a powerful cryptid, it was not something the witches and the gnomes could not take care of together. If the holy beast gave birth to the dark dragon, and it's still alive somewhere, where else could it be but the primal ground? All of the conditions set forth in the prophecy are lining up. Oh, this has to be a joke. Regarding this blade of the world's end that defeats the holy beast. In other scriptures it's called the Originator Zero. I'm speculating that it's a special weapon created by the Black Workshop. What in the world? At the very least, it probably isn't anything like what the boss uses. Do you think it's made of Sumerian ore like the weapons used by the Divine Knights? That would seem most likely.
You say?
Is something the matter?
Oh?
You realize something?
Right now, we need any straw we can grasp at.
Anything at all could help, no matter how small.
Yes, you're right. That term. Originator Zero. Could that be OZ, perhaps?
That's what the Black Workshop called Millium and Altina.
They're model numbers. OZ.
Oh, what are you talking about?
So you finally made it.
That voice.
It was time she showed up.
Vita! Ah, so the prodigal granddaughter returns.
Misty, Vita.
I heard you had been acting on your own.
Nice to see you again, grandmother. Emma, Celine, and Class 7 too. And thank you for mediating, Mr. Lysander.
Oh, don't even mention it. It always breaks my heart to see a family torn apart so.
Vita! Why? You really don't plan on ever coming back, do you?
That's correct. As I said before, my allegiance will forever lie with the Grandmaster. I can't return to you and grandmother. I can never go back to the way I used to be. Just like the Steel Maiden.
Seriously, who even is this Grandmaster person?
Yeah, I'm very curious too, but I'm sure at some point we'll figure it out.
I have no clue. But it is clear she is quite taken with them.
And I wouldn't be too surprised if it's somebody we've already seen in one of the games. Maybe even at the first one, Trails in the Sky. Who knows? Because with the way the story is written by Falcom, I wouldn't put it past them. Because it's the same that happened with Crow, with his mask in the other games, and then revealing himself, and coming back again and again and again. The people that are very important to play a big part there will always be there, right out in front, until we realize who they are. Same as with Gnomes.
So do tell, Vita. If you have not decided to return to us, why show yourself now? Has Ouroboros finally decided upon its course of action?
Yes. After our experiments with the 3 ions, the 6 other Anguis came to a unanimous decision. They decided to ignore my warning. They will work with the Chancellor and the Gnomes to bring about the Great Twilight, completing the Phantasmal Blaze Plan.
And that's the part I don't get. If it ends everything, what have they to gain from this? Is it just because they want access to that steel? Is that all this is about, for more power than they can ever use?
So that's how it is. The reason Ouroboros was so quiet the past month wasn't because they left Erebonia.
It was to carry out their plan, and determine whether they should work alongside enemies and traitors.
How can that be? If that were the case, it means...
They're all our enemies?
Is this?
It's not the Cathedral's bell.
Let me guess, Crossbell's bell.
Huh? I think I recognize it from Crossbell.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I remember hearing it right before the incidents in Crossbell, when we were still independent. Oh! The one from the museum!
The bell from Stargazer's tower?
But the sound's coming from a different direction than the museum.
The Phantasmal Blaze Plan. What a fitting name. I wonder how much of this she foresaw.
That is quite enough mumbling to yourself. If you know what is going on, show us!
Yeah. Or leave.
It'll be a bit tough without Grianos. I'll need your help, grandmother. Emma, Celine, you too.
Yes! Ugh, I'm not your slave.
The villa. Where Gaius felt the winds. Ah, the remains of the night. I'm gonna try to resurrect it? Or power it back up? Can you imagine if the thing would be back in action? Then there will be 7 nights to be had. George.
Now then, let us say we celebrate the continuation of the Phantasmal Blaze plan by ringing in the Great Twilight. I, Enforcer number 0, the Fool, shall play the opening note.
Imperial Villa, 500 Arch Point. Wait. Is that the Holy Beast? Looks really cool. Egg. Very dark one at that. They really destroyed the entire environment, didn't they?
Check that out!
Huh. Sure is something. Well, how about that?
So, the beginning of the end, is it?
Huh. Deja vu.
The Grawl of Erebos. Just as the Black Records foretold.
The crypt where the great power will be reborn.
Rean. Uses.
Couldn't have guessed this is how my day would turn out when I woke up this morning.
Let us begin. It is time. Chief of the Gnomes and head of the workshop, show me the way, Black Ulbric.
Ulbric of the Black Demise.
As you wish, my lord.
I'm guessing we have to fight through all of those to get in, to get Altina. And getting George is gonna be personal.
Rufus. Millium.
Was that... Allie?
Yes. But why?
Boss, Zeno, and Leo.
Azure Siegfried.
And that guy in the lab coat, isn't that...
The blazing demon and the fool were there as well.
So that's the maiden.
Why? We just spoke this morning and...
Well, she is still part of Ouroboros.
What's going on?
I'm sure she won't do anything to hurt the Reinford family, but I'm guessing she still has orders to fulfill.
Lisa.
That man's name was Lumen or something like that, right? His hair looked different.
So there was Lumen. I thought it looked familiar, but the different color hair and eyes, I didn't think it was going to be the same person. Would explain why he was messing around with the Pleuromer grass and all that kind of stuff.
Franz Lumen, the first disciple of G. Schmidt, and the deceased husband of the Reinford Group's chairman. Also known as Franz Reinford.
Ah, so he has been lurking in the shadows these past 20 years.
I did theorize this a whole bunch of episodes ago that it's gonna be her father, isn't it? I'm not gonna say this game is predictable, but I was right on the money with that one.
Yes. Perhaps for the sake of working with the Chancellor, to engineer this very moment.
Elisa.
Snap out of it! Now's not the time! As a bracer, I can't just sit here and let them pull off whatever that Twilight crap is they're planning. How about all of you?
She's right. We can't stop here.
Sarah, always the instructor. Snapping them right back into action. Let them not dwell on what's happening.
We gathered together to do whatever we could to help. Our goal remains unchanged.
Yep, true.
Elisa, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, Vita, what will you do now?
Go back to your Grandmaster, or help us out here?
Well, I'd like to charge in there alongside the rest of you, mostly out of spite. Unfortunately, I suspect things won't be quite that easy.
What do you...
Something's...
There's a turbulent swirl in the mana.
Oh my god, more monsters?
I believe so.
Sir Lysander, Sir Gaius, cryptids and magic knights have appeared all over the city.
Multiple. Yeah. Whew. Damn. Yeah. My apologies for the longer episode, but I couldn't stop. We had to see this, at least until this point. Oh, I love it when I have a random theory and thought about something, and it ends up to be true. I won't be right all the time, but every once in a while it does feel pretty good, I have to say that. So, yes, Lumen is Elric, is Franz. Damn. And Altina is there. Sharon, why? Lecter, why? Millium, why have you tried to stop anything? There's still more. There's a reason why they're there and they're not trying to stop things. There has to be. Maybe they are waiting for Rean to step in with Class 7 to take a stand. But the one thing is very clear. We have to clear the city of the cryptid magic knights. We need to go to the location, beat the crap out of an enormous amount of terribly strong people, and stop this plan from ever fulfilling if we can. Damn, this chapter is gonna be intense, I can already tell. And I love it, wouldn't have it any other way. So, for now we're gonna leave it here. Next time we're gonna proceed, see what we can do with all the cryptids and magic knights in town. Hopefully, local authorities can do what they can, because we need to go to the villa in order to confront them all there, and we need as many people as we can. So it could be that the Bracers and the old Class 7 might handle things in town, and the new class will go there, but we'll have to see. So for now, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are, and if you're still here, hit that like button, subscribe, be back next time, cause so many great things to show you. See you then, bye bye.